Do you ever sit there looking at your PC screen and think, man, do I have the files and not enough space to put them in? Well, thankfully, the prices for storage are going down. Well, at least kind of when there's no, global shortages happening. So it's definitely a good time if you, really need more storage and you also want to save a buck or two while in the process. So what kind of prices per terabyte can you expect now from your favorite PC storage solutions? Well, that's what I'll be going over in this video, as I'll be talking you through what exactly can you buy at what price point in this guide to PC storage for 2020. So let's start with the good old hard drive. It may not be fast, but it's cheap, and for many people that's enough of a reason to get it. Unlike some more expensive solid state storage solutions, and minus a tongue twister, with hard drives you can't even find many nowadays that go below a terabyte. So hard drives will be starting at around $40 to $50 for a single 1 terabyte hard drive. In that price range you can find hard drives from all your major candidates like Seagate and Western Digital. So simply just go with whichever brand you prefer and whichever you can really find cheaper, because the differences between those are pretty much none. And at that price point, not only can you get your, standard general purpose drives like the Seagate Barracudas, but you can also try some other drives for more specialized operations. For example, the Seagate Iron Wolf drives for NASs are also available for around, $50 or so for a single terabyte. So if you need some storage for your NAS, or just a more reliable hard drive for archiving on your PC, then go with those instead. And if you really need them, you can even get Seagate Skyhawks, and that is also an awful tongue twister at around that price. So if you need a surveillance-based 24/7 operations hard drive, then that's available as well. However, another great thing about hard drives, apart from the speed, is that they are rather spacious nowadays. So you can often find 2 terabyte drives at around the same price, just a tiny bit more expensive than a single 1 terabyte one. So if you're already buying a 1 terabyte hard drive, I would highly recommend just go for a 2 terabyte one. So at that point, they enter a bit of a pattern of around $50 or so per 2 terabytes. So if you need a 4 terabyte drive, then you can get that for around $100. You got all of that? Perfect. So now let's move on to SSDs. For your standard SATA SSD, you are looking for around $100 per terabyte. However, because of their high prices, unlike hard drives, you can also get SSDs that are, for example, half a gig or even less. So if you just need a really tiny SSD for your OS and also any of your most important files, then you can get one for, well, cheaper than even a 1 terabyte hard drive, with prices starting around, $30 to $40. You can also get 240 gigabyte drives for slightly more than that. But the fun really begins when you get to 1 terabyte, because then you really also have the space to make it a drive for something more than just the most important files. As at 1 terabyte, people usually also start to store the games and other important large projects. For example, if you're a content creator and you need tons of storage for your projects, then an SSD can be a great deal because it's fast and also, well, it's $100 per terabyte, so it's not the worst deal there is, especially if you're a content creator who has some money to spare to upgrade the workflow. So 1 terabyte, $100, 2 terabytes, $200, etc. Now, of course, the cost decreases over time, but the issue with SSDs is that they're still kind of expensive. So if you really need for mass storage and you need more than 2 terabytes, then you'll be paying quite a nice fee for that pleasure. So if you really need that much storage and you don't have the money, just stick with good old reliable hard drives. Now, actually, you can get more expensive and better SSDs with faster read and write speeds. So if you want to get into Samsung QVO, EVO territory, then, well, those are available, just, slightly more expensive, as you can expect. So now let's talk about the new hot thing right now, NVMe storage. Well, it has been around for a while, but recently it has been really taking off because the prices are finally starting to decrease, and yeah, look at those prices. They are absolutely insane, to the point where I'll recommend everyone, if you have the extra money to spare, just go for an NVMe drive, or maybe more specifically, go for an NVMe drive via an Amazon link, which will be down in the description below. Basically, NVMe prices are great right now, and being at around $110 per terabyte or so, which means that if you just have a tad bit more money spare, then you can go all out for some nice and fast NVMe storage, and compared to SATA, NVMe is a real treat. So unless you just don't have that spare money, you don't need that faster speed, or for example you're upgrading to some faster storage on an older PC that doesn't even support any N.2 drives, then I would pretty much recommend going for an NVMe drive. Otherwise, you can stick to an all SATA SSD and use that spare money to maybe support me on Patreon. Links to that will also be down in the description below. The problem with NVMe's is that if you're really planning on using it as mass storage, then you're gonna pay, and you're gonna pay a lot. Sabrin, for example, has recently released an 8TB NVMe. However, if you really want to use that for your, mass storage, well, you better have some spare cash, because boys, it's gonna cost you. But yeah, overall NVMe prices are an absolute W right now, so I'll definitely recommend going with that if you need some fast storage for your OS, for your games, and also for any other important files you may have. However, something more controversial on whether or not it really makes a difference or not, we have PCIe Gen 4 NVMes. These are super fast and will cut through everything you have, but they are a bit more expensive. And by a bit, I mean a lot, as you're looking for prices of around $200 per terabyte, compared to around $40 to $50 per terabyte on a hard drive. That's kind of a lot, but you do definitely get a lot of speed out of it. However, there are some other issues with it, because unlike PCIe Gen 3 NVMes, which are just your normal ones that most people buy, PCIe Gen 4 NVMes are not only more expensive, but you need specific hardware to run them, as you need a PCIe Gen 4 compatible motherboard, which right now are only the AMD branded B550 and X570, so if you're a current Intel customer, then you may forget about them, but rumor has it that PCIe Gen 4 support will come with 11th gen Intel CPUs, but we'll see. But you'd also need a Ryzen 3000 or newer CPU as well. So yeah, it's definitely not something for the poor kids, but if you do have the money, then definitely go for it. However, another issue is that, unlike with PCIe Gen 3 NVMes, where you can get larger sizes like 4TB or 8TB even recently, thanks to the mad lads over at Sabrent. But with PCIe Gen 4, you don't really see drives that are bigger than 2TB. I mean, I have a PCIe Gen 4 NVMe in my PC, and I use it for, well, all my video projects, a lot of my games, and also my OS, and well, it has been serving me rather well, but I'm also someone who comes off of just using a standard SATA SSD, so I didn't even get to experience the, PCIe Gen 3 stage in the middle, and for me, it's blazing fast, and it's definitely come in really useful for video projects, and the loading times are just beautiful for games. But coming soon to my channel, I will be having a video where I'll be comparing game load speeds for, PCIe Gen 4 and PCIe Gen 3, so definitely subscribe and hit the bell, so if you don't want to miss that. It will be a fun video, and it's great if, you're someone who's like on the edge of whether or not they should buy a PCIe Gen 4 NVMe or not. And also, while you're being so kind to me and my channel, then why don't you check out the video description where, like I said before, is my Patreon, where you can help support the channel monetarily. It's $1 member goes a long way and have me make way better content, and also videos on way more interesting topics. Down there you also find a link to my Discord if you want to talk to me about this or whatever else really. Down there's also all our Amazon links if you want to buy these drives, and that also helps a lot because, well, you don't pay anything extra and we get a bit of the money, so it definitely again helps the channel grow and be even better. But I guess that's really it, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all in whatever I make next. Goodbye everyone, goodbye.